Hello, you're welcome to Leadership Profile on Campus Rundown here on TV UCC. When we meet here, we make time for students of University of Cape Coast who are into leadership positions, and with this, we intend to get to know the leaders and also bring them closer to the student populace. My name is Louise Bequin, and of course, you can call me the PDF. If today happens to be the first time that you're watching us, please subscribe to our channel and go ahead to share this content for family and friends to get to know what we're doing. Today, our guest for our conversation is Catherine Anchibosiakon, who is the Vice President for the Graduate Student Association of University of Cape Coast. So stay with us. Don't go anywhere because we have a lot for you. We'll be right back. All right, so the person I talked about is here with me, Catherine Anchibosiakon, former Vice President for the SRC Hall of University of Cape Coast and the current Vice President for the Graduate Student Association of University of Cape Coast. Catherine, you're welcome to TVUCC.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How about you?
I'm also fine. Thanks for asking. No makeups today.
Well, let's just say I'm repping my natural today.
Okay. Of course, you're beautiful. Beautiful ladies don't need that much. Yes, but we like it. Personally, I like it when you draw that small line here. Catherine, we're talking about you today. It's all about you today. I know you, I've known you for quite some time now, at least being here for about 7 years. Out of this, for about, let me say, 5 years or so, I've known you. Tell us, growing up in Obuasi, of course, I know that. How was it like?
Well, I always say I was lucky, or I am lucky to have had parents and a large family that would put in extra for me. I had my mother, I had my father, I had my grandmother especially, who has become like a special someone for me. Because it's someone I can go to anytime for anything. And so for me, growing up, it's like a lucky child kind of lifestyle for me, where you have someone to fall to provide for you in terms of education, in terms of feeding, anything. Like, you just have the support there. So that has been the motivation for me to always and at all times put in my best wherever I find myself. Because I feel like if somebody's making you get there, then indeed you should as well push yourself there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Lucky girl, of course. Is your grandmother too cute like you?
Yes. And
Okay.
beautiful, please.
All right, Catherine, tell us something about your educational background. Basic school through to high school, then to the university. How has life been?
Okay, so I had my basic education at Queen Ejima International School, what we'd call the first international school in Obuasi or in Adansi.
Okay.
Yes, so that's where I had my basic education, right from KG through to JHS 3. Then I went to Christ the King Catholic Senior High School, also in Obuasi for my secondary school education. And here at the University of Cape Coast for my tertiary education, and now reading my master's right here at the University of Choice. Yeah, so that has been my basic educational background. Actually, at the SHS level, I read general arts, where I did literature in English, I did government, I did CRS, as well as geography. And here in UCC, at the undergrad level, I read theater studies and majored in playwriting. And currently at the master's level, I'm taking African studies and majoring in language and arts. So that's basically about my educational background.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then let's touch a bit on your political background. Let's see. Student leadership for here, University of Cape Coast. All students know you to be uh, a student politician. Yes. Did this start from high school?
Okay, this started way back in the junior high, where I was appointed to be the assistant sports prefect. Because at that time, in fact, I love the sports. You would see me, the boys playing. Though my school, we didn't really have like big competitions. So once in a while, you see me around Central, an area in Obuasi, playing with the boys. And so I was appointed then as the assistant sports prefect. And down to SHS, I contested for the head girl, which I won by the people's support and served them as well. And then within that same period, I also served as a organizer for the SU, that's what we call the Scripture Union back then in SHS. And now here in UCC, being the very first election to be held in SRC Hall. We were the first batch we started with. And so I became the SRC Hall's very first vice president. And now serving the good people of Grasag as their vice president. So that has been it for me within the political space. And I don't see myself ending here. I am looking at the bigger political space out there. Hopefully someday we would take up sports in there and serve the good people of Ghana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When you said political space out there, I thought you were talking about political space in Russia or Ukraine. You have love to serve in Ukraine.
I love to serve my people, the
Okay.
good people of
Okay.
Ghana.
So wherever there are human beings, you would want to serve there. Mm, very impressive. Now, way back in high school, you said that you were girls prefect there. Are there some memorable events that you would want to share with us?
Yeah. So within our period, we started what I've really forgotten the name for that, but it was a section where you get the chance to speak to a topic during the assembly. It was a weekly thing. So once in a week, a class or a batch comes in to present what they had worked on with the topics. And so I got the chance to present once for my class, and that's something I really love. I don't know if it's still ongoing there, because I think it's been 2 years since I stepped foot there. Hopefully very soon I'll go back. Yeah, it was something I loved. And then again, we had the other thing I loved then was the inter-hall competition. I was with St. Magdalene House 4. And funny enough, my house never won. You see me in the crowd, I'm like, no, you people can't be disgracing me. So those are events that I really recall from way back during our period as student leaders. Yes.
And coming to University of Cape Coast, who inspired you? What inspired you? Let's look at that.
Okay, to be frank, right in SHS, I had told myself I want to do law. But the truth is that apart from the grade not being so good, I was also considering the cost. I was considering the fact that I had other siblings too, and then the money would, the law comes with its own cost, and then there wasn't the grade too. So I asked myself, "Oh, apart from the law, what else can I do?" So I went to the net and started searching. I was looking at a program that would equip my speaking skills, equip my relations with other people. So through the readings, I realized that there was a program called Theater Studies that gave the students the exposure in the room to present in front of people, that's act in front of people. And I thought that, okay, so this is a platform that will not just give me the exposure to act or present in front of people, but also shape my speaking skills as well as my reading skill, because for theater you would have to read a lot, especially when it comes to you trying to get the script. Yes, so that was my motivation to get into theater studies, and that has been my motivation. I hope that someday somehow I'll do the PhD and in theater studies.
Of course. Talking about PhD, let's also look at your academic life from basic school, high school to the university. How has it been?
Okay, so if I'm being sincere, way back in basic school, I was that child who was all over the place, like always try to make fun or have fun. And so I would say I spent much of my time making fun. But getting to the SHS level, I met this lady by name Happiness Sam DeGraft, and I always saw her go to the library. So I was like, no, I got to pick from this person, because she was somebody that I just like every time you see her going to the, and she was the girl's preferred then. Yeah. And so she has been my motivation in taking my books very seriously beyond the JHS level kind of learning. And from that time, I'm always reading, trying to find new knowledge. What I don't know, I ask. I'm never shy to ask anything in terms of academics. If I don't understand something, I would ask. And what I have to research to, I'll do that. So happiness has been my great motivation in taking my academics seriously and beyond another level. Yet, and wherever she is, I know, I don't know if some way, somehow she would get to see this video. She ever gets to see it, I want her to know that she has been a great inspiration in my academic journey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Wherever you are, happiness, right?
Yes.
Yes. God bless you for being an inspirational, right? To us. Let's look at your undergraduate level. How was it? Quizzes and that of you, were they stressing you?
Well, undergraduate level was, um, should I say, a smooth journey. Though we had some hitches here and there. Of course, there was a time that there was a quiz I wrote and I had a single number. But apart from that time, it has been a smooth journey for me. Writing quiz and getting those huge marks you've been looking forward to. And so for me, the undergraduate level was a good one, especially with my roommates, because I had roommates who were always reading, then we lived like a family. So if you don't understand anything, you could ask because they were also reading certain courses that I was reading, like the English language, and then those who were reading the religion and human values as well. So for those people, I could like engage in some form of group studies with them and all that. And so it was a smooth journey for me. And I must say, I came out with a first class.
Oh, okay. All right, great. Great, because it's not easy. I know, Cartoon, you contested for SRCPR twice. You
Yes.
lost twice.
Yes.
And yet you managed to complete with first class. I have to congratulate you.
Thank you.
But you tell us something about your competition, contesting for PRO and losing twice. What happened?
Okay, so losing twice. So
Uh-huh.
what happened? For me, I know I put in the work. I really put in the work, and every other person on my team also put in the work. But the thing is that it's a competition. At the end of the day, someone is going to win. You would think you've put in the work, another also put in the work. So the people's choice would emerge eventually. And so the people's choice told me that, Catherine, this is not the time. You know, yes, you are good, not that you're not good, but we think this other person would serve us better, and that's fine. Yeah, that's how I see it.
So you accepted it
Yes,
in good faith.
in good faith.
We're still having conversation with Catherine Anchibosia, the Vice President of Graduate Student Association of University of Cape Coast, on leadership profile here on TV UCC. And so we've already talked about her educational background, political background. We also touched on the academic background. We're going to look at her social life, and then we center on her current position, some challenges, and what is actually happening as Vice President for Grasag UCC. So stay with us. We continue with our conversation. Catherine,
My boss.
we're still talking about you. Yes, it's all about you here. Tell us something about your social life, especially with life in University of Cape Coast.
Okay, so I came in as that quiet student who would leave a hostel to the lecture theater to the library. But now that quiet student is no more. I try as much as possible to blend. However, me being an introvert or extrovert depends on the kind of people I have around and the situation I find myself in. As much as possible, I'm trying. In fact, lately I've been trying to join the parties here and there, the group gatherings here and there, and that has basically been it for me. Well, I know you would want to know my relationship status. For that part, I normally keep it out of the public space. I don't want any wahala.
I'm not going to ask you if you're going out with somebody, but what I want to ask, you said that you joined the parties and the cinemas and that of you. Whom have you been going with?
You will know soon.
Have you been going alone?
No.
Then, of course, you've been going with somebody.
I would like to keep that out of the public space.
You know, one thing men don't like. Definitely, he's going to watch this. Catherine, should I advise him? Hey, Masa. Why? Catherine, should I advise him?
Oh, no, no, no. He knows I'm not hiding him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If you are not mentioning your name here, we're still not hiding you, and you accept that. Well, it's over to you. Anyway, Catherine, let's continue. Let's look at your position as the vice president for Grasag. What does it takes to be vice president in University of Cape Coast, particularly for the graduate student?
Well, as a vice president, the first thing you would want to look at for yourself would be that you are more of a guide to the president. So you are an advisor to him, issues he discusses with you, and where you have to come with pieces of advice, you do that. And then again, on the general level, you actually take care of welfare issues for students, and then even the executive council themselves. And so you would always at all times want to look out for the students from the academic level down to the health issues, where you would link with the health rep and let them know what is going on, to issues at the library. You know, there are times someone will call you, Vice P, there is no water at the library. You have to quickly make that provision. Yeah, liaise with the treasurer and the financial secretary to make that provision. And so that's basically it. And then again, as a vice president, you know, though there is the Wukong, who is the mother, you are also some form of a mother to the student as well. So anytime you could call on you. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's touch on how you came up with the team. Were you the one who went to Reza, or he came to you?
Well, Reza sent someone to me.
Okay.
yeah, I should say someone that I'm on that level with, someone I really respect and really should I say, respect his kind of guidelines. And so this person called me one day and told me this is the plan. And I told him I would have to go back and reflect because, in as much as he's someone I listen to, I should also try to assess the team for myself and see if this is a team I would want to work with in terms of their convictions and where I stand as a person. And then again, the kind of things they will be bringing on board and the kind of thing I would want to bring on board should I be with them. Yeah, so I took that time to reflect and um, I made a decision to join team. So although the other teams had come to see me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so almost all the teams that you competed with came to see you. Why? What do you think is the reason why they all coming to you?
Well, like like for them and like myself, we have been on campus for long, so I'm sure that having served as SLC, they would have seen what we did there in terms of serving. And then again, seeing someone who contested for PRO once, lost and still came again, they could see the kind of tenacity in there, and I believe they see that as a good leadership trait, and that might have informed their decision to approach me to be their vice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. But let's look at your administration. How has it been running the affairs of the student, postgraduate student to be precise?
It's a learning curve for us every single day. Yeah, I would say that this position teaches you to be patient, especially dealing with people at that level. Postgraduate students are bigger people, older people, and they come with their own different issues in different ways. So at all times, you don't want to try to create that room or to chest almost everything that comes along. That you don't step on somebody's feet and another doesn't step on yours. And that has been it for me. But I must say that the strike that came in was really a big blow for us. At the time, we had to try to push almost all of our programs forward because we didn't want to hold programs where students are not on campus because primarily they are the reasons why you're holding such events. And so if they're not here and you're holding programs, then the question is, who are you holding the programs for? You had to, apart from Aquaba, which we had earlier, the rest you had to push them forward. And now they are in, and so we've had our research seminar, which put over 300 students. I think something that I should recommend the publicity team for, as well as all the other committee members and the entire postgraduate student, because every single person puts in an effort in making that a success. And currently, as it stands now, on the 12th of April, we are going to have our public lecture series, the very first of its kind for postgraduate students. And anytime I talk about it, I say something big and good is coming. Just look forward, be calm, yeah.
All right, we'll touch on that, the public lecture. But so far, are there some challenges that you've been encountering as vice president?
Well, you'll be at the office and someone will come in with issues of registration. That's myself, the president, and then the secretary were able to work around for them at the higher office, that's within the academic space. But we still have students who have not been able to register, and that's a headache for me because the registration portal has been closed. And it's not just a headache for me, but for the president as well. And so I know the president and the rest of us are working around, together with the SRC, are working around to see how best that can be worked out for those who paid the fees but for one or two reasons couldn't register. Yeah, that has been a huge headache for us. And then again, last year as students, then we saw what was happening with the whole weeks, and we are hoping that this year it wouldn't pop up so that we can have a great and big whole week celebration with our postgraduate students. Yeah, that's basically it for me.
Yeah, we all hope that hallways and dinners will come off because not long ago, we heard from the president that uh, restrictions on these gatherings have been released, and of course, with condition that is, whoever attends such programs should be a person with the vaccinated card, right? You should be vaccinated before you enter this program. So hopefully, we pray that these programs would come off so that we'd also get a chance to enjoy more. Well, I know postgraduate programs, yes, dinner especially, yes, always nice place to be. Catherine, what are some of the advice that you will give to people who intend to take such positions?
The first thing I would say is look at yourself as coming in to serve. It's people have trusted you. There are a number of aspirants. They could have chosen anybody, but they thought and felt they could trust you with their resources. They thought they could trust you with such an office. And so if you find yourself here one day as much as possible, serve the people in all truthfulness and all sincerity, not forgetting humility, especially when it comes to postgraduate students.
Okay.
You want to tread on humility and patience because there are people who may have very genuine concerns, but their praise they may come in with would take you off. As much as possible, try to control yourself in that line and rather look at the issues that they are bringing forth. Because you assess those and you realize, sincerely, this person had a very genuine concern. Maybe it's just that that wasn't right. And lastly, you should understand that this is a period, a time that's from at most 8 months, sometime you'll be out. And then you ask yourself the question, after the 8 months, what next? Can the people look at me and say, yes, I'm proud that I trusted this person? At all times, make the people who trusted you proud. And that's what we are all trying as much as possible to do. I hope my people at the end of my tenure can say, I didn't waste my votes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice advice there. Let's look at the programs that you yet to organize. You've talked about the public lecture, which is yet to happen. What are some other activities that your people should expect from you and your team?
Would also hold what we call the theories, that's the thesis series. Now, with that, we are looking at how best we can help our postgraduate students in their thesis writing. Because I, for example, at the undergraduate level, I didn't do the thesis or the research work. I am a playwright major, so we deal mainly with the concept paper. So you come up with your concept paper, and that will guide you. So the postgraduate level was a time for me to learn something new because I didn't at the undergrad I didn't go deeper into the research because I was not taking that line. So the theories is for people like me and others who didn't take the research method into deeper level at the undergraduate level to actually learn on how to even come up with a topic, how to write their first chapter, the second chapter, and all that goes into the other chapters. So they should look forward to that. And then again, we'll be having, they say health is worth, right? And so it's important that you hold programs that will always keep us active and strong all the time. So we're going to have what's called the health work and screening. And that's going to be mega. Yeah, these are basically some programs we would hold before the end of the semester. Not forgetting our general assembly.
Okay.
It's important that you give the people a feedback on what we have done so far, what we intend to do going forward, how much has been spent so far, and all that. Yes.
But Katrin, can you assure us that dinner will come off?
We are trying as much as possible. As it stands now on paper, yes, you are going to have that.
Great.
We are going to have that.
Great. There's no restriction on public gathering anymore. So hopefully we are coming for the
In
dinner.
fact, we are all coming.
But postgraduate students, especially being a research student and taking this position, of course, you're doing well. How do you balance your time? Yeah.
So, you see, we are 18 all as executives, and we've tried as much as possible to come with a routine. So, for 1 week, 4 people come, the next week, the other 4 come, so that the week where you don't have to come to the office, you can use that time to do your library research and all that. So, this is one of the measures that we've put in place to help us all, so that it doesn't become like we came to serve GASAG and we left the primary reason why we came to UCC. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That is good. Anyway, with that schedule, I think you wouldn't be that much stressed. But let's look at uh, management and their roles and handling the students. Do you think management has been of help to you and your administration?
In fact, I must say they've been of great help. I remember the first time that the registration portal was closed. Um, GRASAC president, Mr. Reza, and then SRC president went into lobby and it was open again. Yeah, and not just once, it was open more than 3 times. And then let's also look at the Bill Butler when it was closed too. Now, Mr. President and the team went back to speak to Dean of Students, and they helped us push the date forward. And so there was an extension for students. So there've been that kind of cordiality for us where you go on with student issues and they are ready to listen and help work around it. Yeah. So far, I would say management has been really helpful. Yeah. And we are hoping that it continues this way.
Oh. All right. Roughly, how many students are you handling at the moment?
Okay, so on the first years, we have around 650 so far, and then the second we have around 700 so far. Sorry, 950 so far. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Great. Hey, the mother of all. Catherine, going forward, let's say in about 10 years to come, 8 years to come, are we likely to see you in the Parliament House of Ghana?
I am hoping to.
Oh,
I am
okay.
hoping to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which constituency? or would you want to tell us about your political affiliation?
I'll hold on with that for now.
Hey.
Yeah.
But you have a party card.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Non-partisan.
I'll hold into I'm non-partisan. Even if we say we are neutral, the truth is I would have some form of alliance to one of the parties, and I
Okay.
really have that too.
Okay.
Yeah, just I don't bear a party card. Yeah.
Do you have something to say about this national political parties and their influence on student uh, politics? Is there something you want to say?
Yes, especially that Nooks Congress is coming up. We saw what happened the time back, where students went for Congress to go and vote, and the election was hijacked. I'm hoping and looking forward that it doesn't happen this time at the Congress level. You see, the truth is that we can't take politics and the national politics entirely from the student politics. But I shouldn't get to that level where they would have to decide for us who becomes what. Students have their vote, they have the power to represent, and so they should be given that room. We want to sponsor some, we don't have a problem. But as to who becomes, it should be decided by our votes and not some machineries out there.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, great. In no time, we would be ending our conversation. But before we do that, how helpful has student Senate been to your administration?
Okay, with Senate, Senate is like, should I say, in quotes, a police, because you send in your budget and they would want to scrutinize it and see that you are not abusing anything that has been put in your care. And so for me, it's a good thing, and that would at all times put us on our toes, knowing that we have student reps who are the senators. And at all times, they'll be probing as to where their resources are going to in terms of money, in terms of the kinds of projects we are even holding. Is it even beneficial for our students? And then when it comes to student concerns, so they are very first people that we get to get such information, because they are in the classroom with students. In as much as we are representing everyone, the senators help make the work easier together with the committee members, because they are with the students. I can't be everywhere at the same time. Like I'm here now, I can't be at the office at the same time. So those become our ears and then our eyes as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any other thing that you would want to say before we go?
Well, let me first of all thank the postgraduate students so far. They've been so supportive in publicizing our programs, in attending. You don't have to call; they will just show up, and yeah, they've been so helpful, and we really appreciate them. And I must also thank the Senate leadership for at all times putting us on our toes. And then to you, Mr. PDF, for not just having me here, but anytime you call on you to MC our programs for us, you're always there. And we really appreciate it. And we look forward to more collaborations. Yeah.
Right. Always, I'll come because I'm there for you. Is there any shout outs?
Well, to Anas, my favorite person. Yes, and to Amin as well. Yeah.
You mentioned Anas and Amin. All right. People, this is where we'll end our conversation with the Vice President of Graduate Student Association of University of Cape Coast, Catherine Antribo-Siakon. She has been a great personality, of course, for today's conversation. We are grateful for your time. Stay with us and keep watching our programs. My name is Louise Bequin. This is Campus Rundown on TV UCC.